Fox News is reporting that liberal contributor and radio host Alan Colmes has died. Colmes spent years at Fox alongside Sean Hannity on the primetime talk show Hannity and Colmes. He also worked as a radio host. He got his start in the business as a stand-up comedian. His death comes after a brief illness. Colmes was 66.
This is the second death in the Fox family this week. Prominent business anchor Brenda Butner lost her.
Welcome to Alan Colmes Versus, where we discuss some of the more controversial things said in the recent news cycle on both traditional and digital media. The epitome of what we like to call around here fair and balanced. Joining me today via Skype, president of TrueNews.com. That's Rick Wiles. Rick, thank you for talking to us today.
Hello, Alan.
You said they killed Antonin Scalia. Who's they? Who did that?
I think we ought to spend some time investigating the mysterious death of the Supreme Court Justice. By the way, Alan, I apologize if there's a lot of noise around here. I'm on the convention floor of the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville. It opens up Wednesday. We're here building our exhibit booth. We're launching a new app called Praiser, and so there's a lot of activity around us. So you may hear forklifts, and there may be construction workers walk past me. So I apologize.
We like the real-time, real-life quality of that. Why do you think Scalia was? You think he was killed? What do you mean?
What do they do? There's something mysterious about his death, and you know, there's just so many unanswered questions, and I don't know if something is definitely being covered up, and either it's the manner in which he died, or the reason he was at the ranch. But there's definitely a cover-up underway.
Everything cover-up by whom? You said the regime when you talked on True News on your show. You mean the Obama regime, the Obama administration? Somebody in Obama's... Who knocked him off?
Well, I don't know. But when I talk about the regime, I'm talking about the people that control Obama and the Bushes.
Who are those people? Who do you mean?
There's a shadow government. There's a shadow government that controls this country, controls the Western nation.
Who does that consist of?
Well, I don't know.
Are you talking about the military? You're talking about some unseen forces? Who are you referring to?
I would say, Alan, if you could start at the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, the central banks, that would be a good place to start. There's definitely a regime that has its tentacles wrapped around the United States and Western nations. It's the same regime that's pushing us towards World War with Russia. There is a regime, and I think that they killed Kennedy. I think they killed John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy. I think that's when the takeover began, was in '63.
Now, Rick, you know this sounds like wacko conspiracy stuff, right?
I don't care what you think it is.
I mean, you talk about numerology. You've talked about the 44th president, and he was killed, in your view, on the 44th day of some occurrence that you're referring to?
Well, I just brought up the fact that numerology shows up in a lot of news events. Go back and review Christine Lagarde's speech about a year ago when she kept talking about dropping the zeros and the magical importance of certain numbers. That was Christine Lagarde, the IMF. She's the one who was making references to numerology. I just watch these people, and I notice a trend in their behavior, their words. But Alan, listen, there is a regime that controls this country. And Eisenhower warned us about it when he left the White House. He warned about the military-industrial complex. And as a good, solid liberal, I would think he would agree with me on that.
Well, you say that actually it was the 44th day of the year. You're saying he was killed, 44th president. Are you then trying to suggest that Obama had anything to do with it?
No, I have no idea. I think there should be a thorough investigation. There's a lot of unanswered questions about Judge Scalia's.
Well, his family has said, we know this was natural causes. Here's a 79-year-old guy, not in great health. His health so poor that they couldn't perform shoulder surgery on him. It's nothing nothing unusual for somebody in this level of health, in this age, to have this happen.
So, Alan, all right, first of all, the family, you can expect that. A grieving family wants to just bring closure. You never have anybody make a rational, intelligent decision when they're involved in a highly emotional state. And then you have the family wanting to protect the reputation of Judge Scalia. But let's talk about the fact that he returned the previous day from Hong Kong. That's my understanding. He was in Hong Kong. Then he flies to Texas. He's on a chartered, he goes to Texas, to Houston, as the invited guest of this wealthy businessman, John Poindexter, who will not tell us why the justice was there with 40 other people, and he won't tell us who the 40 other people were, who were invited by Mr. Poindexter, all expenses paid.
Well, Rick, we're not going to have time to delve into all of that. We're just about out of time. But tell me, what do you want to come out of all this in your presentation about what you think actually happened? What do you want the result to be?
Well, I'll tell you what. We posted on TrueNews.com today a list of unanswered questions. Let's get some answers to these questions. Why was the justice there? Why did they have to go through 3 justices of the peace to get somebody to declare him dead? No doctor was brought there. No medical, the ambulance didn't show up. No EMT, no paramedics. All of this is very bizarre. We're talking about the Supreme Court justice, and he's just declared dead by a wealthy businessman who happened to find him in the room with a pillow over his head.
All right, well, Leek, we'll have to leave it right there for now. I thank you very much, Rick, for talking to us. You can follow Rick on Twitter at True News, TRU, True News. I'm Alan Colmes. Thanks for watching.
Some sad news to report here at the Fox News Channel. Fox News contributor and frequent guest here in America's newsroom, Alan Colmes, has passed away. His family releasing this statement only moments ago. Alan Colmes passed away this morning after a brief illness. He was 66 years old. He leaves his adoring and devoted wife, Jocelyn Elise Crowley. He was a brilliant guy. Brilliant, hysterical, and moral. He was fiercely loyal, and the only thing he loved more than his work was his life with Jocelyn. He will be missed. The family has asked for privacy during this very difficult time, end quote again from the family there. I want to take a look back now at a friend of ours, Alan Colmes, and some of the many, many memorable moments here at FNC.
His quick wit and straight-talking style brought him into the hearts and homes of Americans all across the country.
I'll take some great pride and see how I've aged you over the years.
Alan Samuel Colmes. He was born September the 24th, 1950 in New York City. The bright lights of the Big Apple would one day lure him into a life of entertainment, giving way to a life as a hard-hitting newsman. A 1971 graduate of Hofstra University, Alan got his start in the spotlight as a stand-up comedian.
The word commitment for a lot of people is a dirty word. Okay, slow down.
A career that eventually launched him into a thriving radio career. His big break in radio was in 1984 with a drive time slot on New York-based WABC.
And that's traffic. I'm Alan Colmes, WABC Talk Radio.
In 1987, Alan moved to WNBC in New York, a short-lived move as WNBC announced its radio division was closing its doors. Alan giving the final sign-off on the great WNBC.
I'm Alan Colmes. Thank you. God bless you. And for the last time, this is 66 WNBC.
And in 1996, he parlayed his successful radio career into a television career.
The economy is doing well. It ain't broke. You don't have to fix it.
Yes, teaming up with me to launch Hannity and Colmes.
I guess I'm going to wonder whether more people agree with me or you as the show goes on.
When the show ended, Hannity and Colmes was by far the #1 show in its time slot on cable news and consistently one of the top-rated shows on cable. As the banter sometimes grew a bit contentious.
Because you're lying!
I'm not lying. You are lying. Don't be a liar.
Well, Alan would always use that great sense of humor to combat some of his tough critics.
No, I think it was great. All right.
But off the air, Alan found love.
How are you?
Nice to see you, honey. I haven't called a guest honey since Newt Gingrich.
And in June 2003, he married Dr. Jocelyn Elise Crowley, a professor of public policy at Rutgers University. And another major milestone just 4 months later, his debut nonfiction book, Red, White, and Liberal, How Left is Right and Right is Wrong. Never one to back down to controversy, his hard-hitting interview style made him greatly admired by both political parties. From stand-up comic to author to radio host to television, Alan lived to entertain you, the American people, telling the news how he saw it and taking his audience through some of the most significant moments of our time. Today, the Fox News Channel lost a very dear member of our family, one of the nicest, kindest, friendliest people, and a dear person.
And our friend Sean Hannity just releasing this statement as well. It reads the following: the Fox family, Dr. Jocelyn Colmes, Monica Crowley, and me personally have lost one of life's most decent, kind, and wonderful people you'd ever want to meet. When Alan and I started Hannity and Colmes, there wasn't a day that went by where we did not see we were two most fortunate men in all of television. Despite major political differences, we forged a deep friendship. Alan, in the midst of great sickness and illness, showed the single greatest amount of courage I've ever seen. And through it all, he showed his incredible wit and humor that was Alan's signature throughout his entire life. I'm truly heartbroken to the loss of a dear friend. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jocelyn, Monica, and his entire family. He will be dearly missed. That from Sean a moment ago, and I can't emphasize that enough. Alan was a great guy. I love to talk with him. I love to debate him. I love to get his opinions on everything under the sun. And he was a neighbor of mine in Greenwich Village here in New York City, and we shared a great love for the neighborhood too, and you know, the restaurants and the life of New York City. So our best to his family, and tough week around here when you think about Brenda Button from the other day, and now we've lost two really dear colleagues.
So amazing, both of them, and so different in their personalities and the way that they tackled life. With Alan, you know, no matter where you were with him on issues, he always stuck to his point. He defended it with gusto, and he did, as so many people have mentioned, have that great sense of humor. He was able to laugh at life and at himself as well. And just, you always walked away from a conversation with him, I felt like smiling.
Yeah, and professionally, you think about what they created too, you know, with Sean and Alan together. So it's a great loss around here. And to Alan, in the heavens, at the age of 66, we say so long until another time. And a reminder,